Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am going to be reacting to what I think are some of my worst moments from the TV show that I'm on called Growing Up Hip Hop Atlanta. And while I am reacting to these terrible moments, I am going to be installing this U Part wig from Beauty Forever Hair. So thank you to them for sponsoring this video, and let's get into it. So in this first scene, you guys are basically going to see kind of like the falling out of me and Brandon. We had already fell out off camera. I think this is the first time that I seen him on camera.
I feel like y'all should talk, even if it doesn't result into y'all speaking again.
If now isn't the place for us to talk, then it doesn't have to happen now. But I have been reaching out to you.
When pull up a text message or a phone call when a camera wasn't in your face, or when we was about to start filming.
Okay.
You are so full. We were about to start filming.
I wasn't even filming.
Brandon, at that point, you didn't know that they weren't bringing you back that season.
I did know that.
You did not know it at that point. I know when you found out. Brandon is literally lying through his teeth. If I thought that there was a genuine bone in this man's body, I would give him a listen, but you're already lying. This is the first time I spoke to you and you're already lying. So I'm done. That ain't never reached out to me if it wasn't a camera in his face. I ain't heard from Brandon if it wasn't a camera in his face.
The reason why I was so upset by this is because I personally felt like Brandon and I fell out off camera. So why haven't you tried to reach out to me off camera? What we fell out about was off camera. So why wait until we start filming the new season to decide that you want to make up, you want to reach out? Towards the end of me and Brandon's relationship, really the only time I heard from him is he would call me right after one of my green screens to ask me what questions they asked me. I guess he was trying to get information for if they were asking stuff about him, or if he knew I had just filmed a scene, he would call me to ask me what we filmed about and what we talked about. It had been stopped being like a real relationship, if that makes sense. So why not reach out to me to figure out what the issue is off season? I know that this show was trying really hard to push the whole I'm upset about Brandon lying about being like a firefighter situation. But honestly, guys, that's the furthest thing from the truth. I did not care if Brandon was a firefighter or not. That had absolutely nothing to do with me. And by that point, Brandon and I just really were not talking anymore. I think that was their way of trying not to break the fourth wall. Because one of the reasons why I wasn't really fucking with Brandon anymore was because I felt like you only talk to me, when there's a camera in your face. But they can't make a storyline based off of shit that happens behind the scenes that involves some production members. Like they can, because some other shows do it, but Growing Up Hip Hop for some reason doesn't like breaking that fourth wall. So they kind of push the Brandon is lying about being a firefighter narrative. But for anybody who may be wondering why Brandon and I are not cool anymore, because I get that question all the time. What's so crazy is I answered this question like 3 times already on my Twitter account 2 years ago when we were filming, but I don't have a lot of followers on Twitter, so that's probably why nobody really knows. But Brandon and I basically fell out because, one, like I said, towards the end of our relationship, he really was only reaching out to me, I feel like, to get information and not as like a genuine relationship. Like he's just trying to figure out if anybody's talking about him. Like it just wasn't it just wasn't a genuine relationship towards the end. But the main reason why I fell out with Brandon is because there were a lot of things that I told Brandon in confidence that was repeated back to me from not even like people in my family. It's like random people on production that were repeating things to me that I told Brandon in confidence. And I just feel like if you're telling my business to people on the production team, who else are you telling my business to? And some of the things that he was telling production wasn't even just to be like a gossipy type person, because a person that's just a gossipy type person, like, then you just know not to tell that person nothing. You don't necessarily have to just say, oh, fuck you, don't ever talk to me again. It's just like, oh, okay, well, I can't trust you with a secret. I just won't talk to you no more. It was beyond that. It was kind of like using my business as leverage for him to get stuff on the show. I'm not going to go into too much detail about that because then I would be telling like my business. But some of the stuff that he was repeating was so that he could get leverage for something that he wanted. And I felt like that was trifling. But still, I do not wish Brandon any ill will. At one point or another, we did have a relationship. We had a loving relationship at one point. But I just honestly got to a point where I felt like I couldn't trust him. So a relationship with him for me is not possible again. So the next scene that I'm going to show you guys and talk about is a scene that I literally grappled if I want to talk about, because I told the show that I'm never talking about it. But since it was talked about on the show and I didn't get to say my piece, I'm going to say it now. So this is a scene with me and Shania from a couple years ago that the show just decided to use recently. And it's kind of a turning point in our friendship.
Last year, Ayana and I had a little falling out. Is Amy the dude in y'all's relationship?
There is no dude in our relationship.
I'm saying if somebody saw y'all, they'd think Amy was the and you was the girl. Yeah, I don't know.
Shania.
I'm telling you.
You cannot say
Is that offensive to y'all?
It's like saying
No, like a derogatory gay word.
so it's
Well, then what do y'all consider yourselves? Just two girls? So now I can
that's what we
clarify.
are.
She was just really angry, but I've never personally heard that that word was offensive. I didn't apologize, anything like that afterwards, because I'm not going to do all that. So I will say a prayer for her.
Guess what dumb bitch just broke her flat iron? This is the only one I have, so now I have to figure out another fucking hairstyle. This subject, out of all the scenes that I'm going to talk about, I feel like this one is the most sensitive to me because Shania and I were at the time actually really good friends outside of the show. Probably the only person that I talk to outside of the show besides the people that I'm related to, like my Aunt Debbie, of course. But she's like the only person that I would actually actively talk to outside of the show. So when our friendship kind of drifted apart, that did affect me in some type of way. There was another scene after that they never aired. This was like a few days later, and Shania and I went to look at makeup or something, and I brought up the situation to try to like hash it out because I didn't like the way we left the scene that you did see. It was very awkward when I left the scene. You could tell that like both of us was kind of like. So we went to another scene where we kind of was like looking at like clean makeup or something. I don't know. We were looking at makeup and soap or some dumb shit we were looking at. And I brought up the situation. Shania got upset. We kind of got into it and we didn't even get to finish the scene. From her perspective, because we did text after that, and she was telling me that she didn't appreciate the fact that we were having a scene and I kind of didn't give her the heads up that that's what we were going to be talking about. In my defense, I thought Shania knew what we were going to be talking about because production knew what we were going to be talking about. And usually when you go into a scene, they tell you what the scene is about. They don't tell you what to say, but they do tell you what the scene is about. So I didn't know that Shania was going into the scene blind, but at the same time, I know that she did know that the way that we left our last scene, that how could we just jump back into another scene and act like nothing ever happened? Like, does that make sense? Like, we kind of have to talk about what happened because we haven't talked about it since it happened. And clearly we didn't leave that conversation on the best footing. This situation is kind of a, you know what, let's just agree to disagree and go our separate ways, because Shania did in fact say, you know, well, I'm sorry about calling Amy that. But in my opinion, and I told Shania this when we did that whole scene where we got into it, that I didn't feel like her apology was sincere. It was like, well, I don't know, so I'm sorry. I didn't know, so I'm sorry. It wasn't a, girl, you genuinely just kind of offended me and hurt my feelings. And you know what, as your friend, I didn't know that offended you. I'm sorry. I kind of felt like it was just like, well, girl, I didn't know, so I'm sorry. So let's just shut up talking about it, as opposed to you genuinely caring that I was offended. And she doesn't feel that way. So we both just feel two different ways about it. And at that point, the friendship is kind of awkward. So we kind of just grew apart after that. Now with Shania, it's different than when it was when I fell out with Brandon. When I see Shania, I still hug her. I still say hello because I still very much love her. We just disagree on this specific subject, and it's a big subject to disagree on when I am a lesbian. You know, it's not like it's not like it doesn't affect neither one of us, so let's just never talk about it again. I am a lesbian, and that is my life, so it affects me. But anyway, as stated before, I still very much love her and wish her well. This is just a situation that just kind of became awkward in our friendship, so we just kind of drifted apart. So this next scene is me and my breast reduction.
Come on, this is the biggest one. Come on. Come on, stop being stubborn. Come on. Ayana.
It's too big.
Ayana, leave it
It's
right
like
here. Ayana.
It's not too much to say on this matter because I have several videos on this channel showing my breast reduction journey. So feel free to check one of those videos out. But for those that are unaware, I did end up not being very happy with this surgery. So I did go and get a second breast reduction from a different doctor. Blossom, give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. So yeah, I ended up getting a second breast reduction surgery because I was not happy with this one. I expressed it to my doctor that I kind of felt like a couple things, like my nipple was too high. It was a couple things that I expressed to him, and I felt like he was kind of being dismissive. So I just decided to go to a different surgeon, and I am so happy this second time around. I'm not going to go too much into this subject because I have an entire video on this subject on my page, so you can watch that one if you actually care about breast reductions. And we're just gonna go into this last scene that I know is the reason why everybody clicked on this video, because you guys just love drama.
They're like, since you're here, we done playing, BT not here, we might as well talk.
I don't want to. I don't mind having a conversation with you later on, but today for me is not
So
today.
when is good for you? Because it's been like almost a year.
I just got my braids done, so I'm not trying to fight nobody.
Over some petty. It's no other word for it but petty.
You started it.
No.
You can't
I
call
asked a
something
simple
petty that
question.
you started.
I asked a simple question. I said, what do you lie about? You started insulting me. I ain't never even really disrespect you like that. You called me all out my names, all type of sub tweets, blah, blah, blah.
Thing.
What I call you? What I say about you?
Were we not going back and forth?
You can go back and forth and just have a debate. What did I call you out your name?
But you don't need to start anything with somebody that you don't know.
That
I did
wasn't a
not
start.
know
It was
you.
you met me, so let's not act
I
like
met
we
you
don't know each other
one
hard.
time.
That's fine.
I met you
Twice.
one time. I didn't
Twice.
know you. Okay, I don't
Twice.
know you.
Where was the disrespect that I came at you at? You don't have nothing to say.
I just told you that I don't want to talk to you.
Because you know that you're wrong.
I'm not wrong. I
street,
feel
so
like
I
I'm
fight,
telling
so I
you
didn't wanna
right now.
fight
So do you want to fight?
No. Because I don't want to beat your ass in front of everybody.
You're not gonna beat my ass. So
I'm
if you
just
want to
saying.
fight, we can
I
fight.
just said I didn't want to fight.
Okay,
I said I
but
don't
if you
wanna
would
beat your
like
ass
to
in front of
fight.
Okay, so let's break a few things down. When this season started and production told me that they kind of wanted to talk about the me and Reed situation. I made it very clear to production from the beginning of the show, the middle of the show, and towards the end of the show that I am not speaking to Reed in front of a group of people. If Reed wants to talk to me and wants to hash it out, we can have that conversation. I don't mind at all. But I'm not having this conversation in front of a bunch of people that didn't have anything to do with it. The scene earlier that I showed you guys with me and Brandon, that's one of the reasons why I was like upset with Brandon, because I'm like, why are you trying to talk to me in front of people that don't have anything to do with this? I don't know. For me personally, that's a pet peeve. If you have an issue with me, or if there's something that you want to talk to me about, you can talk to me personally, and I have no issues talking to people. But I just don't like being approached in front of a bunch of people that don't have nothing to do with my business. I don't know if that's maybe just a me thing, but if you want to talk to me, I'd rather you talk to me by myself if the people around us don't have nothing to do with what we have going on. Now, I will say maybe production did not tell her that. I don't know. I don't talk to Reed to know that. But I mean, I know how production works. They're trying to make a show, and they're trying to make an entertaining show. I would just assume that because she approached me to have the conversation, that production did not tell her that my stipulation was I talked to her privately. And just so you guys know, that's not how I am just on the show. That's how I am in real life. Like if we got an issue about something, like don't approach me. I would, maybe I just expect people to operate the way that I would, but I would never approach somebody that I got an issue with in front of other people if I genuinely want to hash it out. Now, if I got beef with you and I'm just walking up to you like, oh bitch, what's up? Yeah, I understand that. But if I genuinely want to talk about an issue that I have with somebody, I would want to do that privately. Maybe I'm tripping. So in case people don't know why me and Reed have an issue in the first place, it's because at the time of me and Brandon's falling out, I had tweeted something, because we live tweet when the show is airing. The network asked us to live tweet and react to the things that's happening on the show. So in something that I tweeted, I think I had tweeted something about being upset that the editing was bad in the episode that everybody like confronted Brandon about not being a firefighter. I was like, we caught him in numerous lies at this meeting, but the show keeps only wanting to air the stuff about him being a firefighter. Like they won't air anything else. Like they cut everything else out, but they only air the stuff about him lying about being a firefighter. Reed tweeted me back and said, well, what did he lie about? Because it can take this long to be a firefighter. And I wrote her back and was like, you're friends with Brandon, so stay over there with Brandon. And it just kind of took off from there. We just kept going back and forth. We both said mean shit to each other. Like we both was out of pocket with the stuff that we were saying. So fast forward to the scene that I just showed you. Reed clearly, told me that she wanted to talk to me. I told Reed that I would prefer to talk in private. I don't know if I came off defensive when I said that. I don't know if she just didn't want to talk to me in private. I don't know, but she clearly did not appreciate me saying that I want to talk in private. As she continued to try to talk to me, and I continue to keep saying that I want to talk in private, I'm getting agitated because I literally just said that I don't want to talk to you in front of people, and I personally feel like that you're forcing the conversation when I just told you that I don't want to have it. Clearly, we're both exchanging words. And I know she said something like, she's trying to talk to me. Usually she'd be ready to fight. I don't know what that triggered in me, but I just got upset because 2 seconds ago you just said you wanted to talk. First of all, leaving that scene, I felt embarrassed because this is not Love and Hip Hop. And when I joined this show, my father and I both were very clear on the fact that we were not joining a franchise that was trying to be like Love and Hip Hop. I am way past my fighting stage. I am way past my arguing with other girls stage. That is not what I came there for. I came there for a birthday party and to show my face, to get paid. And to be honest with you, I kind of feel like because it was on a show and production was trying to make such a good show that they kind of pushed this situation further than it would have ever been in real life, because I do not care. I don't know. I genuinely did not care anymore about that situation. They wanted to cover it because, of course, it's some type of drama to be on TV. Whether or not her and I ever decide to have a conversation about this, it will not affect my life either way. And I'm pretty sure that it will not affect her life either way. I have different people coming up to me on the show like, oh, if I have an event, I have to invite you or Ree. Why? Why do you have to invite me or Ree? There is no tension with me and Ree because I don't care. And if I don't care, I'm sure that Ree doesn't care. So nobody has to pick and choose who they're bringing to an event. Like what are we arguing about? What is the issue? This is stupid. I don't fuck with Brandon, so why are we arguing about him? The whole situation was just really annoying, and to be honest, like I said earlier, it's really low-key embarrassing that we even went through that on camera. Because what the fuck is this arguing about? Nothing. We ain't arguing about shit. That was my TED Talk for today. If there's a scene in here that I didn't explain enough or you have a question about it, you can leave a comment and I will respond to it down below. Thank you guys for tuning in to today's video. I will see you in my next one.